Maybe I was wrong last week when I said we'd never see any of these people again, but I didn't think Cassian would be stupid enough to return home. I'm Gayfesh, and today we'll be talking Star Wars Andor, Season 1, Episode 7, Announcement. But before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Spoilers ahead. Well, the Empire sure is not happy with what Cassian has been up to. In response to the heist last episode, they're massively increasing sentencing for offenses that could have even a whiff of anti-imperial sentiment, levying massive taxes on systems with rebel activity, and cracking down on local customs. Dedra doesn't think this is a good idea, though. She thinks it's playing right into the rebels' hands by fomenting further resentment against the Empire. And she's right, of course. This was Luthen's intent all along, as he explains to a rather irate Mon Mothma who had no idea about this job. His plan is accelerationism. She's not pleased as it puts a wrench in her own plans, but he insists this was always how it was going to work. In my favorite scene of the episode, we get a better look at Mon Mothma's politicking and machinations as she hosts a party at her place. An old friend of hers who runs a bank is there, and she's able to suss out that he's got anti-imperial sentiment and asks him to secretly funnel money from her accounts without imperial oversight. The whole thing plays out in couched language and is a masterwork of writing and acting, and really gives us an insight into Mon Mothma. She says that she plays the role of a political irritant to the Empire, so they only look at the surface level stuff she does. I really love the politics in this episode. The writer's room has clearly done their research on this kind of thing. This is the first time the rebellion in Star Wars has felt like a real growing thing rather than a fantastical ready-made army. Speaking of growing the rebellion, Vel receives orders from Luthen's assistants to hunt down Cassian and kill him as a loose end from the job. I don't necessarily think that this is what Luthen wants, but he did mention to her that he wasn't careful and Cassian could link back to him. Cinta is still in Aldhani, where Imperial movement is really stepping up, and I don't see how she's going to make it out of there. But again, I was wrong. We're clearly going to see more of her story and hopefully more of her romance with Vel. Give us something that can't easily be excised from the plot. On the villain's side, Dedra manages to convince her boss that the ISB has grown stagnant in its current way of operating and needs to adapt to counter the tactics of the rebellion. And our other villain, Cyril, manages to get a job at the Bureau of Standards, thanks to connections from his uncle Harlow. Harlow must have some serious pull because they even amend Cyril's record to remove what went down when he was hunting Cassian. Still, this job at the Bureau of Standards is hardly a glamorous affair as he's staring at facts and figures in a cubicle. I'm thinking this is going to radicalize him. And of course, we can't forget the man of the hour, Cassian himself. He stupidly returns to Ferrix with his payment so he can get Marva and B2 out of there, but Marva doesn't want to go. Because of what went down in Episode 3, the Empire has taken direct control of Ferrix and are cracking down on them harder. Marva has decided that she's going to fight them here as best she can, inspired by the heist at Aldhani. Cassian realizes she won't change her mind and run, so he leaves enough money behind to pay his debts and takes off. He heads to the planet Neamos, which kinda looks like Space Miami Beach. It looks like he's spending his money on girls and drugs, but very quickly finds himself in a wrong place, wrong time situation, as he's headed to a store right when some agitators are running from the Imperials. Because he looks nervous and shifty, they arrest him as a co-conspirator, throw a bunch of trumped-up charges against him, and he's sentenced to 6 years in prison. Of course, I doubt he's going to see much at the inside, and they booked him under an assumed identity, so they don't even know who they have. We'll see what happens with that next week. What do you think is going to happen next? Leave a comment down below.
Since Vel is being sent to kill him, I think she's probably going to end up springing him from jail.
Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share the video with your friends. Subscribe to my Patreon to get shouted out in future videos. Check out my Bandcamp for banging tunes, including all the tracks you heard in this video. Follow me on Twitter at GayestFesh, and don't forget to check out my podcast, The Rest of Both Worlds, where I go through Star Trek The Next Generation with a friend who's never seen it. Thank you to all my patrons, with a special shout out to Piftle Cakes and Renee Vorbeck. Your support is greatly appreciated. See you all in the next video.